Hello and welcome. I am Sabrina Wenzel, and I am the owner of Tripl3MoonYoga. And I'm just going to set up the chat, get things going, and get things moving along for this beautiful full moon prep. So, let me get this going. All right, beautiful. And yeah, definitely let me know if you cannot hear me at this time. I do have my AirPod in, and there should be some nice background music to keep things going. I know that no one is live at this time with me, but just in case you're watching at a later time. All right, so where am I? There I am. I know that no one is live at this time with me, but just in case you're watching. I don't hear any music at this time. Oh. Alright, let me get turned up for you a little bit. Let me know if it's too much. But it sounds a little bit. Beautiful. Okay, there we go. Everything's all set up now. It's sounding a little more normal. Okay, so if you're joining me, well, then I am just preparing for my full moon ritual. This full moon is in Aquarius, which I actually, my sun sign is Aquarius, so it resonates with me. I'm feeling the good energy. So I'm just going to cleanse my space. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I will also be pulling tarot cards today. So if you have a reading that you can choose general, love, or career, and I will see what the cards have to say for you. So let's get this going. First, I'm probably going to start with some nice sage. I'm just trying to use up the last of my sage bundles. I've been growing my own, so this is the last of the store-bought. Just in case you're watching and you also know of white sage and how it shouldn't be bought because it is endangered and it is also a closed practice. So if you're seeing this, this is my last one, and I do not want to waste it. I think that's more disrespectful. I'm going to respect what I have and then just use my own. Yeah, and today I have this beautiful hawk feather. This was actually given to me by a shaman who is a lovely person. And yeah, I gave us about 5 or 6 of these. So this has been incorporated in my own spiritual practice. It's been really nice. So this particular feather really resonates with me. Okay. Yeah, let's get it going. Why don't I do a lighter somewhere? And yeah, if you're live with me or if you watch a later time, do you personally do any cleansing of your own home? Whether it's some people do sound cleansing. This particular practice is smoke cleansing by Aboriginal people. It is smudging, though that is a closed practice. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate because I do like to spread the knowledge, and I do personally live very close to a reservation. The town that I'm in is right outside of the limits, so I do want to respect my Indigenous brothers and sisters, or First Nations brothers and sisters. I'm just gonna get some cleansing going. Cleanse the space. Also, if you do smoke cleanse, do the little burny ashes scare the crap out of you too? Because when they start popping, and I have carpet upstairs, so I'm always extra careful. Let me cleanse the space and just replace it with good energy, because white sage is known to cleanse the space of all energies, which is good. You get a clean slate, but you need to then replace that energy. So we will be sure to do that. And so right here, I have my beautiful altar. It is very dear to me. In here, I store all of my tarot and oracle cards. I also have a number of books that are more along the lines of healing and astral projecting, things like that. Oh, and here I have Brickle. This is Bricktop. He is a 10-month-old puppy. He is an American bulldog, or an American bully. My apologies. He is going to grow to be about, oh goodness, about 150 pounds. His papa is a very big boy, so he is going to be huge. It's already like snuggling a bear, which is very nice. Yeah, he's the sweetest. He's big, and honestly, I've known many affectionate dogs, and he is the most affectionate. Yeah. So you'll see him, and he's been in my posts. So if you're connecting with me through Facebook or Instagram, I'm sure you've seen him. He is always interrupting my yoga classes, so you will see him. Okay. So while I have my altar open, I'm going to pull some of my favorite decks. This right here is the Light Seers deck. It is a tarot deck, and it has beautiful imagery, and it is probably one of my favorites, as well as Sacred Destiny Oracle deck. You'll definitely see me using these a lot. These are my go-tos. If I'm going to bring any two decks, because I like to bring a tarot deck and an oracle deck with me, mix it up. But these are my go-tos. Highly recommend. Let's see. I also really love the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. I have not pulled them out recently, so it is nice to get these back up and running. And I also have, I think this deck is very particular. It is the Goddess Oracle. So it can only really be used in certain situations. It might not be so good for a general reading, but as far as connecting with divine feminine wisdom, oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna hear my dogs. My husband's just getting home right now. So yeah, this is definitely a really nice deck too. First off, it has beautiful imagery and really beautiful meanings to all the cards. And I think that is good. Yeah, definitely request a card to be pulled if you'd like, if you are watching. And I'm just going to do maybe a general reading. Take it as it resonates. This energy is going to be for about the next week. So leading into the beautiful full moon on the 22nd, and then the energy immediately after. know at this time. I have one viewer, so hello. It's not very busy in here, so I will do a direct hello to you. Thank you for joining me today. This is my bit more formal setup. I'd like to talk today about the full moon and everything that is going to come with it, and how the different celestial bodies are going to be influencing us. All right. I like to pick cards a few different ways. I like jump cards, but right now I'm just going to give this deck my energy by knocking 3 times. Set my intention for the cards and split the deck. Pull 1, drop it down. Set my intention, split the deck, pull 1 card, drop once more. Set my intention. All right. So I pulled 3 cards just to get a bit more of a thorough reading. I've pulled the Star, Knight of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So the energy that is coming up is really nice. You're not going to be able to see it too well on this camera, but let me see if I can get these in the light here. So with the Star, this card has a really good general meaning, especially when focusing on the near future. With the Knight of Pentacles, the Knights are generally known to be messengers, the Pentacles being the suit of material wealth. And so the Knight of Pentacles is really giving us the message that there is some really good financial stability or prosperity coming our way. And with the Page of Pentacles, I feel that this personally is more so your protagonist energy, if you are listening. Maybe you are embarking on a new career or hobby, some kind of pursuit, and this energy is very hungry to learn, hungry to grow. Paired with the Knight of Pentacles, it is just a really good omen that whatever you are going to put your energy towards, especially with this full moon, it can be very fruitful. And yeah, if you are watching, just definitely, if you cannot hear me, definitely just let me know, because I can easily fix the sound levels. This sounded good on my speakers, but I just want to make sure that everybody's happy if you're watching. I mean, it wouldn't be very fun reading and I'm talking and you can't hear me, so definitely let me know. And don't be a stranger, introduce yourself. This is a safe space where I would like to share my knowledge and my practice with others. One moment. Just turn it down a little bit. Just a little. Apologies if you hear any bass. I just let my husband know he's a musician, so he's always producing music, and his music in particular contains some really dirty bass. So it can shake the entire house if you're not careful. And I see that we have another viewer, so welcome. My name is Sabrina Wenzel. This is Tripl3MoonYoga, and today we are getting ready for the full moon. And yeah, so I have already cleansed my space multiple times, but just for the camera, I have cleansed the space with my sage here. This in particular is white sage. It is the last of what I have. I've also been growing some really amazing purple sage and pineapple sage, which I'm very excited to dry out and cleanse my home with. Definitely reach out if you cleanse your home as well, or if you share any of the practices that I am sharing with you today. And it is a beautiful summer day. It's a beautiful summer day, so I hope you're enjoying it as much as I have been. I was outside all morning, enjoying the beautiful sunshine, which is something to be said. Living in Canada, we have to appreciate it for the 3 months of sun that we get. So, yeah, let me know. Where are you from? If you're watching, tuning in, I'd love to hear from you. And my second viewer, you have just finished me pull some cards, but I'm going to continue pulling some cards. So far, it has been just really good, prosperous energy, especially if you are taking on any new hobbies, pursuits, or a new career. So, really good energy. That being said, this full moon, the planet Uranus is square with Aquarius, and because of this is bringing about social change, and it is also bringing about lots of prosperity, feelings of luck. This is supposed to be a very lucky moon, so definitely pay attention to the energies going on the next couple days. Full moon energies, they last a couple days before the full moon, on the full moon, and then a couple days after. So there's a pretty big window where you're actually going to start feeling the currents change. And if you are watching and you do not subscribe to the idea of moons affecting us, if you think about it scientifically, we are made out of 70 to 80% water. The moon actually affects the tides. And so if we are made of that much water, you'd have to think that the moon is going to have some kind of effect on us. Even if that's just, maybe in a full moon, all the hydration is drawn up to our brain, which it causes different behaviors. Even on a very scientific level, you have to admit that there's some kind of influence. If you ask an ER nurse, they will tell you that full moons are wild. So there is anecdotal evidence. All right, so the last cards I pulled were for the next week about, and this is just a general reading. If you're listening, take it as it resonates. Some messages will be for you and some may not be. Sometimes I get very specific messages and I try to give little, if your name is Garrett, let's say, this is just an example. I'll try to, really connect to you if a message is specifically for you. But right now, this is just general. I'm an intuitive reader. I base my readings both off the meaning of the cards and as well as any messages that I take in intuitively. I will receive tickles in the back of my ears, and sometimes I will even hear things that's auditory, but so far, nothing today. Just nice and clear energy. I'll definitely let you know if I'm having one of those days because they do happen. Okay, so with this deck, once again, I'm just going to knock 3 times. Put my energy into the cards, set my intention. And for next week, the energy is going to contain love. This is really a beautiful card. I'm just gonna, let me pull it back here. I could pull it right up, but it's just not very well lit. You can see it's a very nice one. You can see the flowers at least, even if it doesn't focus. Which is funny because it's said that this full moon in Aquarius, the sturgeon full moon, is very connected to couples and intimacy, and you will feel a boosted feeling of sensuality and connectedness. So the fact that you pulled the love card, it really connects with that energy of what's going to come. And while I have you here, I would really love to thank everyone who has followed me in the last couple days. I have reached out to my witchy communities, my yoga communities, and I've gained a following of about 60 to 70 people, which is substantial to me, with like-minded people. And I really appreciate everyone supporting my channel and supporting this journey, because I'd really love to build a community where we can discuss these topics and explore the unknown a little more, and how life is so miraculous, it's so beautiful, and how we go about life can be magical if we are able to integrate mind, body, and spirit, or soul, or whatever you call it, the essence of you. If you are able to truly align yourself, if you're able to unprogram unnecessary things that you've taken on in your life, whether it's codependency or no confidence, anything, we are able to grow as people, and through awareness, through movement, through breath, and through diet, and a number of other streams of what we can do, we can become our best selves, our highest selves, which, if you look into practices such as yoga or witchcraft, that is one of the main goals. The idea of yoga, the word yoga, it means yoke, but it really means like complete, united, aligned. That is the final destination, to be purely blissful, to be truly connected, grounded, and connected to the divine. This pure connection of all the chakras. And through witchcraft, we go through shadow work, which is just delving deep into the darker sides of ourselves that we might not want to address. And we all have it. It doesn't matter how good of a life you've had, how bad of a life you've had. We all have certain levels of traumas that we need to address. These little things that hinder our performance in our day-to-day, things that we do subconsciously, because in all things we should be conscious. We should have a certain awareness. So if we are able to utilize both yoga and witchcraft, and don't use the idea of witchcraft as, pointy hats and green faces. I'm talking about manifestation. I'm talking about affirmations. I'm talking about connecting to the divine energies that are around us. We are able to really launch ourselves into healing when we utilize all these teachings that are available to us, because there's so many. These teachings are ancient, and you just have to sort through them and find what works for you. So this is what works for me. I'm a yoga teacher. I have 700 hours of teaching, training hours. And since the pandemic, I just got my certification in January 2020. And it was such a bummer. So I just got my certification. I was very excited, and everything shut down. So it's actually been a blessing in disguise, because in that time, I have really been able to explore my own practice in both yoga and witchcraft, and really connect with my own healing path. And since then, I've actually put together a yoga course This course here, and I've written a book. This book in particular is everything I've explained. It's yoga and witchcraft, and it takes you through all the chakras, and it takes you through shadow work. It also includes moon rituals. In my course, I include a candle to do a candle ritual, beautiful crystals that are a really good size and sourced specifically to boost your intuition, your self-love, and to just generally cleanse you. And this book goes through all of it, and it also includes specially designed video classes and guided meditations created by myself. This course, I find all the other courses out there are either strictly in person or strictly digital. And so I wanted to really combine the two, because personally, I love books. I love a physical book. I love smelling it, whether it's new or old. I love to hold something in my hands, especially when you're dealing with crystals and candle rituals. You want to really experience it, not just see it through a video. So this, I would like to just make it easy for anyone to take on these practices of self-love, self-care. You know, my heart's journey is really to share self-love with everyone. I had a really traumatic past, and for the longest time, it took a dark turn. I didn't know how to frame it, because how could anyone go through such terrible things? But I heard something that was really beautiful, and it was reframing the idea that the worst things that we go through are our best. And she reframed it like this: that these terrible things that you go through, they happen, but it's the healing that you seek out afterwards that is the true gift. And if I really look at my journey going back, whether it's seeking out guidance from shamans, reading books about witchcraft and yoga, and connecting with myself and letting go of past traumas through, really deep reflection, it's just, I want to share this with the world. I know this is my journey, and I'd love to share everything that I've gained to you. And there are some beautiful teachers out there that I personally listen to that I'd love to share with you as well, such as Wim Hof, who is an incredible man who has just recently shown the scientific community how far the human body can go. He has climbed mountains in shorts using proper breathing techniques and mindsets, and it is just so beautiful. And if you look into Wim Hof, which I really recommend that you do, his journey and his actual reason for doing everything is so beautiful and so touching. So I definitely recommend you looking him up. I'll write it here in the chat just so that you have his name. It's a little bit unusual. It's foreign, so you might not recognize it. Let me see. Wim Hof. Well, don't. Wim Hof. And to be fair, I don't know if it's one F or two. But let me see. So yes, with Wim Hof, the other teachers that I listen to, there's Jay Shetty, who lived as a monk for quite a few years, and then left the lifestyle and has since gone on to teach how, these ancient techniques can be applied to modern day living. If you can live like a monk without living like a monk in solitude, shaving your head off and wearing orange robes, I mean, if you're able to achieve that level of bliss, of peace, of calmness, I think that's truly beautiful, and such a beautiful thing to share with the world. So I'm very grateful to these beautiful people who are sharing these teachings and making them accessible and applicable to everyone's life, because I mean, it can be the most beautiful teaching, but if you can't apply it to your own life, then it's useless, really. They're beautiful words. but they're not, you can't really use them. So I love applicable teachings that really touch you. So really sit with these teachings that you find out with Wim Hof and Jay Shetty, because you definitely have to look into these people and come back and tell me all about them. Sound guy, thank you. My lovely husband's on sound, so I think my music was a little too loud. So thank you for being on that. Okay, so we've been on here for about half an hour. I'd love to keep this as the witching hour, so let's continue. And let's go through everything that goes into an altar. So mine specifically, I have anointing oils. I have some different materials that I use for my potions and charms, which it really, I do love witchcraft, and it's really just harnessing the different energy levels of different products, because things such as rose oil and crystals, they do hold their own energetic properties. So if you utilize them in the right way, make the right combinations, then, and if you set your own intention into them, which strengthens everything, you will have positive effects for making such little charms like this. This one is for self-love. And these spells I will also be placing out for the full moon to recharge. If you don't already, if you have crystals, place them out under the moonlight. If you can, look up if the crystal is able to be touched with water, and if they are, then just give them a gentle cleanse and place them out with cleansing intentions, and this full moon will charge them and realign them with some really prosperous energies. This one right here is a prosperity spell about abundance, and I place it on a little coin. I feel that it sets its intention and maybe magnifies it. And then here, these sprays are from Brazil. This was actually made by the shaman that I mentioned earlier. His brother, he works with plants and extracts their properties, and he made these especially for yoga practices. This one here is called Kashyyapi. I also have one called Surya Namaskar, and I have Namaste. These all contain different properties. This one here is lemongrass, tulsi, and vetiver. We have mint, eucalyptus, tulsi, and vetiver. And this final one is malva rosa, lemongrass, clove, mint, and lavender. So some really beautiful blends. Um, they smell like a ceremony. They smell like you are in the jungle and you're experiencing medicine teachers, and it's such a beautiful little grounding spray that really helps me clear my energy as I read tarot cards, do yoga. Honestly, if I'm just having a bad day, I will cleanse my energy, and it's really helpful. You will find in many religions and different cultural practices where they combine smells, colors, and if you really utilize and sounds as well, if you really utilize all the senses and really align them and direct their energy, that you will find that these people are having these religious experiences, these miracles, or getting to these states of being where they have certain brain waves that are bringing about calm, the flow state. If you're familiar with the flow state, it is a state of being where you have a heightened awareness, and you will find this in different sports, such as like high level athletes, where they enter this state and they are able to act from their highest self. So I really find that using scents like this are almost like a shortcut to connecting and realigning that constant stream that we all strive to maintain. And if you are interested in making an altar, it does not have to be elaborate. It really can be anything in your home that brings about these feelings of prosperity, calmness, peace, whatever suits you. That's what your altar should be. It should never be what someone else thinks it should be. Here I have an altar cloth, and it has the triple moon symbol with the pentagram in the middle. And you could place this on a dresser and then place your crystals, books, small knives, anything that you have with your altar. You can really make it your own, or you can have it scattered throughout your home. I still think that's a valid option. It's so nice to be able to have constant reminders, especially if you work at home like I do. I'm a mom, I have dogs, I have 2 kids, I'm constantly here and around. So if I have little reminders around the house saying, be calm, live the life that you've always wanted, or whatever it may be, these constant reminders ground me and keep me aligned. And they allow me to be the best me I can be. So, continuing on with the altar, of course, I have the Good Witch's Guide. If you're into any kind of witchcraft, you will be familiar with these books. There's also the Green Witch. These are really popular. They have some really nice words you can say, different information about the candle magic, self-healing rituals. It's just really nice. Whoever wrote it definitely took their time and really put a lot of love into it. In here, I also have a number of books that I write in. Here, I write in about different astrological signs and my interpretation of cards, as well as what I think of different books as I read them, and if there's any important information that I'd like to keep. I definitely recommend that. I wouldn't say this is my Book of Shadows, which is, or my grimoire, which is like really an important book for witches of where they write their main materials. But I just love notebooks. I love stationery. I always have. So any excuse to have more books, I mean, sign me up. So, and in here, I also have some really great books like Tarot for Beginners. This was, my best friend when I started reading cards. And I also have just some little oddities. I have some decks that have been gifted to me from family members. And, I have another prosperity oil, which I anoint all my candles with if I'm ever going to do candle magic. Over here, I've actually prepared a candle for this full moon. I'll prepare it with you so that if you would like to do it yourself, that you can. This is only my practice. Witches are going to do it differently, just like people practice religions differently. Find what works for you, but this is what I do, and it works for me. So if you like any of my teachings, if you like anything that I have here, definitely look into it. And I'm also open to any questions, so reach out to me through here on Twitch, on Facebook, my website, tripl3moon.ca, triple spelt with a 3 as the E. And yeah, you'll find all my links on my channel page. And continuing through the altar, there are some really good things that I suggest that you start doing now if you don't already, such as an intention journal. Mine specifically, I keep it private because I put some very specific energy into it. But what I do is I write everything that I want in my life as though I already have it. And I date it, and I write it specially with a special pen that is encased in crystals, just for my own practice, because I find that your writing tool is just as important as the words that you're writing, and it's just important to incorporate it all. So in here, I just write my goals. I set the day now, So today's date, and I say, I have this, this, and this. And I say confidently, and I say how it makes me feel. And then I sign it fully, my full name. And I really put all my heart into it. And as I go through it now in my past entries, I start to see these things that they've manifested with some serious haste. Uh, some of my goals, they seemed, big, unreachable, maybe to my more skeptical mind. But as I really try to feel the emotions, and when you're trying to manifest, you want to embody the finish line. You want to feel the emotions of that success, that prosperity, that goal succeeded, that everything. You want to feel it, you want to smell it, you want to embody all of it. Hold yourself tall. However, you would in that moment, hold yourself physically. Your physical body is such a powerful tool if you use it, if you calm yourself down with your breath. And, you know, you don't have to if you look into power stances, on a scientific level, they work. So, on a spiritual level, there is also uh, some an applicable energy. Oh, and thank you. I just saw that I got a new follower. I didn't get a ding or anything, but thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, continue to tune in. This is my first mainstream where I am actually discussing all the teachings that I do, and just kind of just giving you a little walk around of one of my workspaces. And so I'd love to do many more of these. I'll have more topics coming in, and I'll also just continue doing my general yoga classes. I have some really amazing routines set up for you um, that I personally I found them very helpful. I really love hip openers this last month, and I've been trying to gain mobility in my spine. So if you're interested, this is a very gentle stretch. Uh, Most of my yoga that I teach, I try to keep it at a general beginner's level just so that everyone can participate with options to move up to more intermediate poses if you feel ready. So, yeah, definitely tune in for more. Okay, so with this full moon, um, with the energy of social upheaval, with Uranus it's a very not volatile. It's a very move like a energetic energy. It brings a lot of change. It's an oddball, and with that, we're starting to see things differently in our life. Our perspectives as a society and as individuals, they're changing and they're expanding. And so, really take your time this full moon to unplug and just connect with yourself, connect with the subtle energies of Earth, and see what it has to tell you. Uh, we are all changing in these times, and if we are able to really bring our awareness to these changes, then we're more likely going to be able to change for the better. It's when we start getting complacent and unattached to our lives that we start going downhill. So if we are able to align, if we're able to connect, if we are able to, really visualize a future that we would like to experience, then we are able to, you know, actually manifest it. And I would love if we were all able to do this as a collective. I feel the currents changing. We are becoming more aware or woke, although I do think that there are certain, you know, toxic traits that can come about in anything. If there's extremes in anything, this world is all about balance, it is all about duality. So we do have to, be careful of balance and not jumping too far the other way. Just because we've been so used to one polar opposite does not mean we should jump to the other. So find what works for you. And this coming full moon, I highly recommend that you look into some candle magic if you are interested to. Here I have a white candle. White candles are a great general purpose candle. They are for cleansing. They are just overall a very positive candle to use as far as the color goes. Different colors are going to have different purposes, especially if they are combined with different ingredients such as essential oils, plants, crystals. And so here with the white candle, we're going to set our intention. You are going to use something sharp here, have a little nail. You're going to write your full name along one edge. Next, you are going to write your intention for this next moon cycle. So 28 days, almost a month. And with that, I'd like you to really pay attention to every letter that you write. I would like you to feel the emotions of this being accomplished as you write it. Put that emotion into the candle and save this candle for the full moon. At the peak of the full moon, or as close to the peak as you possibly can. I mean, there's a couple days window that this is going to be successful, but you're always going to find the best results while you're using the highest amount of energy. And so light this candle in a safe spot where it's safe to burn and allow it to burn to its completion. This candle is a big one. This is going to take a long time. Some people use birthday candles. There's just different sizes you can use. Find the one that works for you. You might not want to sit around for the entire thing to burn down. In the morning, or whenever this is done burning, you're going to want to look at the wax and the shape that it has formed. And sometimes, not always, and not for every magic practitioner, you can get a reading from the wax shape. I mean, I have done this a couple times. I haven't had much success in the actual wax shapes. I find that they're very circular and not very, there's no distinction to the shape. So I haven't really been able to read too much into it other than I might get a ball in the next moon cycle, or a plate, or a wheel, or a steering wheel, something circular. So yeah, definitely try it. And if it works for you, or if you feel any energetic movements, currents, let me know. And I just love to hear about your experience. If you feel nothing, I still want to hear it. I'd love to know if you tried it. And yeah, let's continue. I'd like to keep this to an hour, so I'm gonna wind down soon. Right now we are at almost 50 minutes, so let's finish up my altar crib. Yeah. Did you ever watch MTV Cribs? This is like MTV Altars, where I take you through the walkthrough. And so this is more so behind the scenes. This is stuff that you're not going to see. This is underneath. And this is all my extra materials that I have underneath here. I have extra candles. I have extra sage, extra beeswax, which is actually from a local beehive, a local honey company, they're really nice. And I do like to support local shops and sellers. And down here I have a bunch of nice glass bottles that I have repurposed or purchased specifically to use for spells and charms. I also have, my sewing box under here. I have, like my engraving set, just like different things that I like to incorporate in my crafts, because I really do treat my craft time, my creation time, as like spiritual me time. That's when I put all my love into something, whether it's good or bad. You're just trying to get it out and really just manifest something where your energy is going into it. And then also down here, I have some other ingredients that I put into my bath bombs and things that I have saved for the future that I plan on using. But I mean, it's already been years, but it's nice to have a witch's cupboard full of everything you could possibly need. This is just the beginning. My kitchen's also taken over, but I've tried to keep my more witchy stuff to a contained area. And then up here, I also have my Tony Robbins eye masks that my husband and I got from when we did a course through him, or like a seminar. And I love it for meditating, just for blocking out light. I mean, on one hand, it's very good to be able to meditate in all conditions, but it is nice to have some kind of sensory deprivation where you're blocking out the light, perhaps the sound, or you're just in a really quiet space. Yeah, but that's pretty much it as far as my lovely altar goes. My less witchy specific things that I have are like mementos from family members who have passed that mean a lot to me. I have like an old sewing machine from my grandmother. Old German pewter is all over from both my father and my opa. So just these pieces that I feel very spiritually connected to, on a very deep emotional level, that really just makes this is my church. This is the place that I go to find clarity. I seek out answers in the cards, in the books that I read, and really from my own highest self. So I will, write until the real answers come out. If you do not have a place in your home that you feel spiritually connected to, and I don't mean religiously, I'm not Christian, I also don't have anything against any religion. I think that you can be spiritual and religious simultaneously. So just find a space in your home that you feel connected, where you feel safe. For me, this could be a bedroom, an office, but just find what connects to you. Make your space, make your mark on it, really take care of it and put your energy into it on a regular basis. I'm not saying you have to clean your altar daily, but put your energy into it. And even if it's just looking it over, you don't have to clean it. You just touch the things, connect with your crystals, connect with your books. Pick the book up and read it. It's really good to just to have that sacred time to connect and to realign. As much as it is to spend some time outside and do grounding, I find that grounding connects us to the earth. But when we connect with our spirituality, when we connect with our highest self, that's when we connect to the heavens. That's when we connect to what's above and what's eternal and around us. So we have this beautiful, complete circuit through us. And if we are able to do the necessary shadow work, if we are able to unprogram the things that, that are blockages within us. If you're familiar with yoga, then you will be familiar with energy blockages. Then we need to address these before we can really feel this direct circuit. And I really do hope that everybody has that chance to experience it, and hopefully experience it on a regular basis. And we are all just trying to achieve eternal bliss, because we are capable of it if we are able to let go of the ego, and if we are able to approach life from the watcher behind the thoughts. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining my beautiful workspace, and I hope to see you next time to do some yoga and maybe discuss some more. be sure to ask me some questions, whether it's on here or I will definitely take in any questions on Facebook, Instagram, any of my socials, and I will discuss them next time because I do like to take the time to do my best to cover all the topics because there's just so much to learn. So I've just been rambling. I've had no direction. But if you have any topics that you'd like to discuss, I will happily set something up and include them in the witching hour here with Tripl Moon Yoga. So thank you. Definitely follow me on my other socials if you're not already. I'm a lot more active on my Instagram. And yeah, so see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.